everyone. Gary, I think you had a question. You can lead us off.
Yeah. Hey, Doug, the Joe Schobert, I guess you can make an argument for saying that any move that you made in the offseason didn't exactly result in victories. But however, looking back over it, did Joe deliver what you wanted out of him this season?
Yeah, I mean, individually, I think after the season's over, we can talk about, players individually. I think it's difficult now and we're happy, obviously. Joe's, been there. He's played every game. You know what I'm saying? He's been available. He's done a good job with his communication. But at the end of the day, it's kind of tough. I think after the season, what I mean by it's tough is that, where we are in our record, it's tough to really, get down to the individual performance, because obviously some players have done a good job, but overall, we haven't, and that's on all of us. So I don't want to, present something like, okay, this guy did well, this guy didn't. That's the reason why we're here. I think after the season's over, that's something easily that we can talk about. But Joe's been available, and I always appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? If you're available and playing, and like anything else, there's some good plays, some bad plays that you want back, but the consistency from all of us, and Miles has played at a really high level, as well as James Robinson. But at the end of the day, collectively, when we haven't done that, so it's difficult to go ahead and talk about one and not talk about some other guys that have done a good job of. But I think that after the season, that wouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay. And then facing the Colts offense, they look just as potent as they did on game one, don't they? I mean, is it?
I don't know if the two tackles will be back. I thought the two guys that went in last week against Pittsburgh did a nice job. When you got you got Watt, not Dupree, but you had Watt out there. Still same thing. I mean, they're explosive. They can run. Philip Rivers still does a good job. He can still push the ball. Ty can still run. Tight end's a good player. And they challenge you. They challenge your coverages. They challenge it. I mean, Philip knows where to go with the football. He knows where the weak spots are, and they do a nice job. They got caught last week. They had won it 3 or 4 games in a row prior to Pittsburgh. We know that we're going up to Indianapolis, and they've got a ton to play for. And, I feel like we as a team, even though people on the outside are looking at it, maybe like, season's over, this is it. But, we're not approaching it that way. We're approaching it as it's a big game.
And I'm sorry for getting one more, but on defense, what did you do right the first time against them that sticks out? What did you do well against
I think, we made some plays on 4th down, what I'm saying, to change the possession, which was good. You watch that game, going back and look at it, Miles made a bunch of plays in a row, to really help us. I think there's some things that we've got to do a better job of, especially in their screen game. I thought they did a really good job against us with their screens, and they've continued to do a good job throughout the year. So, we're gonna have to play well, and then obviously with the matchups, we had 2 picks in that game. C.J. Henderson and Andrew Wingard had 2 picks in the game. C.J. Henderson had a bunch of pass breakups that game, which really helped us. So, we're going to have to play well at those positions and try to, duplicate the same thing. PBUs, turnovers. Those are the things that helped us in the first game.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gary. We'll go to Mia and then John Reed.
I apologize if this was discussed before the Lions and the Islanders, but did you make an announcement, speak with your quarterbacks as to who will be starting under center on Sunday?
Yeah, we're just going to keep it the same with Mike. And Garden will be ready.
Good stuff. And then just kind of building off of Gary's first question, as you're talking about Joe and Miles and, this linebacking core. Obviously, you have some younger guys there like Shaq Quarterman. Do you expect to give them more run in Week 17, or is this, because you're playing to win, you're going to still stick with your first string guys for most of the game?
Absolutely, we're going to do everything we can, Mia, to make sure that the players that are out there give us the best chance to win. From the first snap to the last snap.
Thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mia. We'll go to John Reed and then Mark Law.
Hey, Doug, I know your injury report come out, but our deadline is a little earlier today.
That's all right. I'll take care of you. Go ahead.
Can you just tell us, give us an update of what you think about James Robinson practicing this week?
Yeah, I was holding out hope, John. I really was, but it doesn't look like he's going to be up for our games. I think that's safe to say that he'll be out. And I can't tell. I can never ever say enough about that guy. I mean, I really can't. I mean, about how hard he tries. He wants to come back. He wants to play. I think he's short of something. Some type of record, like by 20-something yards. And if anyone deserves to get that, at 25, Mark, 25 or 29, 35. Okay, 35. I got you. You know what I'm saying, John? So he's gonna be. He's out. Colin Johnson's out. The only one I'm not sure about is DJ Chark. That's the only one that I don't have a good feel for. It can go either way. Everyone else though should be fine. And we under the deadline? We got the deadline. We're under it.
Yes, sir. One more thing: the Knicks play in Tampa tomorrow. You going?
Come on. No, but as a kid growing up, I know Christmas is gone. I used to love watching the Knicks every Christmas day. That was one of my deals, but those days are over.
Thanks, John. We'll go to Mark and then D-Rock.
Hey, Doug. No one can question the job you've done keeping this team together in a otherwise dismal season. Now that it's week 17, how do you prevent, that from them having one foot in the parking lot? And maybe also for you personally, are you ready for this season to end? I mean, it's just been, it's been a tough season all around.
I think it's hard to say. It's been tough. It's been challenging. I think to answer the question with the first one, the 1 foot outside the door situation with the players, they haven't been like that. They're not going to change this week. I really believe that as we go forward. As far as for me as a coach, when you're not doing well, you don't ever want it to end. You want to try to keep, getting opportunities and try to keep winning, and I think that's what's important. So, that's the competitiveness, that you want. You don't want to say, oh God, I can't wait for it to be over, and then let's see what happens, and then and then kind of reboot. I mean, shit, I'd like to keep competing every single week and keep playing. We just run out of opportunities to practice and get better and do things, and we have one opportunity to perform on Sunday. So that's how I've always approached it. I don't like looking at the end because it's sad no matter what type of year you have. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this league because there's so much change. So I just like I said, I take things day by day. I don't try to look too far, and I don't try to look too back in the past, and just try to do the best job I can. So the players and the coaches, and I told the team today I couldn't. What you said is right. I mean, I'm not taking responsibility for holding it all together because that's something that one person can't do. But I give a lot of credit to the players and the coaches. I mean, I've said it again. We've not had one issue, zero, with anything, and if you guys are out there, you see how they come out. They come out and practice. They work hard, and it's just the results aren't there. And I understand that.
Thanks, Mark. We'll wrap up with D-Rock.
Hey, Doug.
Hey.
Is this going to be an emotional week for you, an emotional game on Sunday? Not sure what's going to happen after that.
Yeah, I mean, me. I mean, I'm just such an emotional guy. I mean, I love hugging and touching and touchy-feely, and of course, I mean, yeah, no. I've always approached this game the same way. I've approached it in an approach of, hey, doing the best. I think that, obviously, there'll be change. I don't know. I'm not informed of anything like that. So, but obviously there's going to be a lot of change going on. And, but my whole focus is trying to get this win. I don't know how I'll feel after the game. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Honestly, I mean, after the game, I might look at it differently. right now I'm putting everything into trying to get this win and end the season with a win. And that's where everything is. That's where all my emotion and everything is generated. And I've always said the one thing I've always been able to do my whole entire life, and maybe that's because you grow up in the Bronx. I'm able to block shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like literally just really focus in and kind of, really hone in on what the opportunity is and what the job is, and not let anything else really come into play. And that's how I feel like I'm approaching this week, and no different than I've approached every week.
Isn't it human nature, though? Do you wonder if other guys on your staff or even players are able to do that to the same degree that you're able to do it?
Well, I don't think so. I think that's a great gift that I have, So, I mean, I'm going to no, but, I do address it. Like that's the one thing I think, I've learned throughout the years as a head coach is, you address things that kind of how you guys say, hey, you think they might be hey, listen, you guys, hey, you might be feeling this way, but hey, we've come this far. This is what we need to lock in on. Hey, this is what we need to do for each other. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're talking to the coaches and you're talking to the team. You can't control what's going on when they're not here, right? I mean, you really can't. But you do have somewhat of a control over the environment and the atmosphere that you want to put, the players and coaches in. And that's what I try to make sure that I recognize the issues that may be occurring with everyone. I try to address them. I try to give them an example how I address it, personally. Not to say not everyone's going to think the way I do, but that's just the type of management style that I've always had, with the team, just trying to make sure that you address these things, understand, show them that, hey, listen, I know a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff. Hey, but this is what we need to do for each other. And I think that goes a long way where some people will go the other way and not ever address it. You know what I'm saying? And it just hangs out there, and then people don't really know how to, focus on what they need to do because there's so many other outside distractions. So I think that's something I've learned, throughout the years, a long time. And I've been fortunate to have had mentors or people that, when I was a player that would just come in and just tell you exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? And cut through all the BS.
What about in the Marrone? What about in the Marrone household? Is it taboo to talk about? Does Helen bring it up?
They've been out of town. Yeah, they visit my mom on Christmas, and they're up and visiting her parents.
Thank you, touchy-feely Doug.
Did they leave the dog with you at least?
Oh yeah, of course. I've got to take care of the two dogs.
Yeah.
I guess we've gone away from raising your hand. That doesn't, that app is out. Huh? Everyone's just going to talk over each other.
We got John Shipley for one more.
I raised my hand, Coach. Coach, just to follow up on earlier the quarterback question, what really went into the decision to stick with Mike this week? Was it just some of the things that he did positively last week?
We just feel like it gives us a good chance, and we can operate and see where it goes. I mean, honestly, I don't think any one decision on the quarterback or any other position is really going to move the needle one way or the other. I mean, if it did, then obviously we would make it, but we don't feel that way. And let's go in there and let's try to take advantage of some things.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Just figured I'd ask. Thanks.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks, Shipley. Thank you, Coach. We'll see everyone back here at noon for the coordinators, and then Mike Glennon after practice at around 2:15.